मूर्ति विनोदकारी पलपन विसरे नहीं जो विसारी जुगल चरण सोल चिन्ह जेह नजर समीपे रहो अमारी एह नजर समीपे रहो अमारी एह। ठाकुर जी महाराज निजे, हरिकृष्ण महाराज निजे, घनश्याम महाराज निजे, स्वामीनारायण भगवान निजे। Supreme Almighty, Satguru Shri Muktanand Swami Sevit, Wala Wala Shri Thakurji Maharaj, Sadguru Shri Muktanand Swami, Satsangni Ma, our divine Guru Parampara, the pathmaker to our liberation, our Puja Guruji, and all of you, Loyadham Parivar Santo and Bhakto, Jai Swaminarayan. Yuva course week 9 is something that is kind of the pinnacle of the mountain, or the top of the mountain. It is, you can say, the cherry on top. It is the most important focal point of a Loyadham Parivar Bhakta. Today's topic revolves around everything in Loyadham and everything of Loyadham. Today's topic is something which is an identity for Loyadham. Today's topic, if we can translate it in Gujarati, is identity of Loyadham, and the name in Gujarati is Loyadham's Asmita. Now, when we identify a person, we can identify a person through two ways. One is the person's external characteristics, and the second way is through one's internal characteristics. One's external characteristics, obviously a person is fat, thin, short, tall, dark, light, so on and so forth. And a person's internal characteristics are kind, compassionate, angry, egotistical, humble, etc., and so on and so forth. From these characteristics of a person, we remember, for example, when a name pops up, John, then exactly we know how John is. If we have been in close contact with him, we know how John is from the inside, we know how John is from the outside. We know how John looks like. Inside of our mind, John's whole face pops up. Along with that, John's internal characteristics also pop up, because that's the identity of John. In the same way, if we just hear the word India, according to the knowledge that we have developed in and throughout our life, India is hot. It has a lot of mosquitoes. It is humid. It has very sweet mangoes. It has a lot of cows walking in the streets and roads. It has many ancient relics, and the tradition is very rich and vibrant. These kinds of characteristics are of India. In the same way, animals, anything has an identity. Anything that exists has an identity. In the same way, for us Loyadham Parivar Bhaktos, what is the identity of Loyadham to us? What does Loyadham mean to us? What is Loyadham to us in a way where we can admire? And how can we appreciate Loyadham? These are such kinds of questions that will be answered in this presentation. Nonetheless, you'll get more informative information regarding Loyadham and how and what kind of pride one should keep for Loyadham. Because in the world we have pride for our family. In the world we have pride for our belongings and possessions and properties and riches. In the world we have pride for our own looks. But what about pride for our Loyadham? The religious organization which will grant us Akshardham, the religious organization which will help us reach Akshardham, help us attain the Rajipo of Shri Thakurji Maharaj, our divine Guru Parampara, Puja Guruji, Satguru, Santo, Bhakto, everyone. The Loyadham Parivar, which will keep us at bay, which will keep us grounded, which will keep us in a stable area, which will give us peace. That Loyadham, what is it? How can we identify it? If someone in the street asks us, where do you go? You say, I go to Loyadham. That is my spiritual center. And they ask about it. Then we should know, as Loyadham Parivar Bhakto, we should know how to identify Loyadham, what Loyadham is. We can give them a perspective, a short narrative of what Loyadham is in that moment. But if we do not know what Loyadham is, if we just come to Mandir for the sake of just coming, if we just come here as a daily routine, then it will not affect us. But if we have some kind of knowledge about what we have attained, then definitely we will get some kind of we will get something out of this Loyadham, and nonetheless we will be able to give something out of Loyadham to others. That's why let's go and understand what the identity of Loyadham is. First and foremost, what is identity? To realize our attainment and to be proud of it. Now, we've attained this body. We meaning the soul. The soul has attained this body. If one has good looks, then one is proud of this body. One sees oneself in the mirror and feels that I look very good because one is proud. If one has a lot of riches and wealth and property, then one has some kind of proud feeling for it. If one has a very, very nurturing family, then one has some kind of pride for its family. In the same way, what have we attained? First and foremost, the Swarup or the form that is in Akshardham is with us, which is Thakurji Maharaj. We have attained Bhagwan himself, God. It's very, very rare and very, very hard to understand this point, but even one who has some kind of power or some kind of proudness that has a feeling that I have attained God is able to say that I have met God. I talk to Bhagwan. I talk to God. I have a relationship with Bhagwan. But if one feels that this is a statue, if one feels that God is God, He is listening from up there, that is wrong. Thakurji Maharaj is Bhagwan Swaminarayan. Thakurji Maharaj, according to Karyani 2nd chapter, there is no Maharaj like this Bhagwan. Thakurji Maharaj is Sarvopari Supreme, and we have met Him. We have a relationship with Him, and we have a very, very keen feeling for Him. Then why not be proud of that? We come to Mandir and have darshan wherever Thakurji Maharaj is. Currently Thakurji Maharaj is in Loyadham, New Jersey for the past 2 to 3 years. We have darshan of Thakurji Maharaj on a weekly basis. Then why not have some kind of proudness that I have attained God Himself, the one that cannot be attained by yogis and and those who cannot be attained by any kind of sadhus, I have attained myself. As being a Loyadham Parivar Bhakta, I have attained God Himself. That is the kind of proudness we should have for Thakurji Maharaj. Nonetheless, our divine Guru Parampara, we have attained Satguru Shri Muktanand Swami Satsang Ma, which we will discuss in the future slides. We have attained this Guru Parampara. We have attained Sadguru Santo, who are our support, who are our helping hands to reach Akshardham. They're the ones who will help us reach Akshardham. They're the ones who will help us become a mukta. They're the ones who will help us become released from the clutches of Maya. We have attained these Loyadham Parivar Santo, and we have attained these Loyadham Parivar Bhaktum. What else do we need? When we think of the word Loyadham, sometimes that white marble model comes to our mind, and we just think of it as a place, a physical site on this earth, a white marbled mandir. But that is only, I can say, 1% of what Loyadham is, compared to the other 99%, which I am mentioning to you currently. Thakurji Maharaj, our divine Guru Parampara, our Santo, our Bhakto, the internal features and mechanics of this whole Loyadham. That is Thakurji Maharaj. And that is and we should be proud of our Thakurji Maharaj. Nonetheless, moving on, something that we have to integrate inside of our mind, and we have, if we are of the Hindu ethnicity, I am a Hindu and I shall remain a Hindu, is the identity of Hinduism. I am a Hindu, we can definitely relate to and we can definitely agree to, but I shall remain Hindu. Well, sometimes in the world there's a lot of conversions. There's maybe not in the form of a ritual, but conversions where I'm talking about we are Hindu, but the outside world, the modern age right now, the fast life, it influences us so much that we forget our rites and rituals as a Hindu. And outside, it seems through the skin or through the way we look, or sometimes outside it feels like we are Hindu, but internally that is completely hollow. And internally we have accepted another lifestyle that we may not even know about. So that's why it is very important to understand that you are a Hindu, but it is more important to remain as a Hindu internally. Know our roots, know our rituals, know our rites, understand how a Hindu behaves, understand Hindus are vegetarians, understand Hindus believe in non-violence, understand that Hindus are very, very peaceful, understand Hindus help others, understand that Hindus have a very, very deep, rich and vibrant tradition. Hinduism is the oldest religion in the world. That is proven through science and through the scriptures. Yet, at times when we forget this very fact that I am Hindu, we are breaking a piece of Hinduism. We are chipping away and we are making it less than what it is right now. But to strengthen it, to fortify it, it is very important to hold on to these rites and rituals. It is very important to hold on to our pride as being a Hindu. And it is very important to live as a Hindu life in our home and in our outside world as well. Number 2, I am of an Indian descent and I shall remain of an Indian descent is the identity of Indian heritage. Now we move on to ethnicity. And sometimes we do see conversion happening, but we are very fortunate to be born in India. And India, most of us who are born, and those who may have grown up here or born here and grown up here, we can definitely remain Indian. We may not be born in India, but we can definitely remain Indian by realizing that we are from India. It's an imagination, it's not anything that is real, but even if we simulate that in our mind, automatically we'll be able to hold on to those traditions of the Indian heritage. And that's what we have to do. That is the main thing. It's not all about physical, where we have to be born in India in order to be Indian. It's more on a mental perspective. It's more on the basis from the Atma. That's why it's very, very important to recognize this. And finally, the most important point after these 2 points is I belong to Loyadham and I shall remain with Loyadham. That is the identity of Loyadham. I belong to Loyadham. Loyadham belongs to me. I belong to Loyadham. If we think about that, we have said these words many times, but you got to remove Loyadham and you got to place, I belong to this family. I belong to this school. I belong to this workplace. I belong to these friends and families. I belong to these relatives. We said many times, but we have never through the heart said, I belong to Loyadham. And if we have said this, then automatically in our character, in our virtues, in our day-to-day life and living, it would be oozing out of us. Because the Loyadham Parivar Bhakta is no ordinary human on this earth. A Loyadham Parivar Bhakta is not a normal person. A Loyadham Parivar Bhakta is a direct devotee of Bhagwan Swaminarayan, a direct disciple of Satguru Shri Muktanand Swami, Satguru Santos, a direct disciple of our puja guruji, and a member of Loyadham. And I shall remain with Loyadham. You know, in the world there are many ups and downs, and when we are in the world, we tend to hear gossip here and there. And through this gossip, we tend to make our decisions on where to join and where not to join. But in reality, let's put gossip aside and let's think about our experience. What have we experienced? For example, suppose you go to eat ice cream and there's a flavor called Rocky Road, which is like a chocolate flavor, and it looks a little weird, but it's shown to you. Now, one person says that this is the worst ice cream. Look at it. Look at how disgusting it looks. All the other flavors, look at how colorful, look at how vibrant the colors are, and it looks very flavorful. The names are even nice, but this Rocky Road is horrible. Just look at it. That is not experience. That person is just telling you verbally. And there's this other person who has eaten that ice cream. This is the best ice cream. I'm telling you, it's not about the looks. Just take it. Take a taste and you'll know. And you decide to take a taste. After experiencing, no matter how much that other person who keeps saying that it's the worst ice cream, it's not going to affect you because you have tasted that Rocky Road for yourself. You know that that Rocky Road is a very flavorful ice cream and you enjoy it. In the same way, Loyadham, no matter what others say about it, if you've experienced the peace, if you experience the shanti, if you experience the spiritual environment, if you have experienced the atmiyata and the affection between santo and bhakto, if you have experienced the bhakti of Loyadham, then no matter what people say or media say or whatever, what anyone says, those words will not affect you because you are tasting that Rocky Road in the form of Loyadham. That's why it's very, very important to understand that we belong to Loyadham. Nonetheless, it is more important to remain a Loyadham member. That is the identity of Loyadham. Moving on. Shri Thakurji Maharaj, who was affectionately served by our original Guru, Satguru Shri Muktanand Swami. If we think about it, Thakurji Maharaj comes all the way from Bhagwan Swaminarayan. Bhagwan Swaminarayan has given this Maharaj to Sadguru Shri Muktanand Swami, the Maharaj which is all the way above our Sadguru Santo photo, which is in the blue bag right there. That Thakurji Maharaj has been given from Maharaj himself to Muktanand Swami to serve, and that Maharaj has been served through our Guru Parampara lineage, and now our Puja Guruji is serving this Thakurji Maharaj and giving us the true knowledge. We have attained Thakurji Maharaj. Nonetheless, Piyuda Maharaj, Ladila Maharaj have been installed by Puja Guruji himself. Maharaj himself, this Piyuda Maharaj in Loyadham NJ, has given numerous people darshan. Has come out of the murti and given darshan. Has given our Santo and Bhakto experiences which are mind-blowing or beyond comprehension. These Maharaj has given such kind of shanti and bliss and happiness to us. Then what else do we need? We are very fortunate that our Puja Guruji has given these murtis to us to worship. Nonetheless, he has given us Shri Thakurji Maharaj here at Loyadham, New Jersey for darshan, worship, prayer, everything. How much more fortunate can we be? So understand the Mahima in this way. And to understand Mahima or the glory of something, one has to also have something which is lower or worse. For example, Mercedes is a very high-end car company compared to a Toyota Corolla. Now, if you're driving a Toyota Corolla and never seen or even heard about Mercedes, then you'll always feel that this Toyota Corolla is the best in the world. I mean, it's the best car, lovely, very smooth ride, great. But once you see and look inside and even get a chance to drive in that Mercedes-Benz, automatically your mahima or glory for that Toyota Corolla automatically diminishes, because you know that there is something better and higher up there. In the same way, our Thakurji Maharaj, our Piyuda Ghanshyamprakashdasji Maharaj, our Ladila Maharaj, the Maharajas that we have received are so great, are so grand, are so fulfilling, and have given darshan and miracles to so many bhaktos and santos, that where else do we need to go as Loyadham Parivar Bhakto? Where else do we need to search? We have everything in-house. All we have to do is appreciate it. Number 2, grace of Brahmanish Sadguru saints from Sadguru Muktananda Swami's lineage. We have attained this Guru Parampara, which is right above me here. Sadguru Shri Muktananda Swami, Sadguru Shri Ataran Swami, Sadguru Shri haricharitramrut Swami, Sadguru Shri Vaikuncharandaji Swami, Sadguru Shri Narayan Sarupdasji Swami, Sadguru Shri Nanda Kishordaji Swami, our Puja Dada Guruji, and our Param Puja Guruji, Sadguru Shri Ghanshyamprakashdasji Swami. We have attained the Sadguru Santo, and they are live. Puja Guruji is here pragat on this earth. Puja Guruji is here on this earth with us. We can talk to him, we can have his darshan. But nonetheless, remember, dear devotees, we have also received these pragat Sadguru Santos. A Sadguru or a great Mukta saint, Anadi Mukta saint, never dies, is never born. They manifest according to Vachanamrut Gadada, middle chapter 13. Nonetheless, they never go away. They are always with us. They are always in our aid. They are always in our raksha. They are always supporting us in some way, somehow, Invisibly, we may not be able to see it, but it is there. That is why we are very fortunate, because we have such kind of support to take us to Akshardham. What else do we need, and where else do we need to go? That is the question. Do we need to search more and more? Do we still have doubts? Then just think, we have attained everything. Where else and what else do I need to do? Nonetheless, the grace of our Puja Guruji, the focal point of Loyadham, the one who has been striving and is striving day and night to fortify Loyadham, to help Loyadham Parivar Bhaktos attain Bhagwan's bliss, to help Loyadham Parivar Bhakto become Muktos. Puja Guruji, our Kohinoor, Puja Guruji, our diamond, is shining brighter than ever. And through his guidance, through his grace, through his divinity, through his miraculous life, through his outstanding life, through his beautiful nature, through his compassionate nature, he is visibly and invisibly guiding all of us and helping us attain Bhagwan Swaminarayan's Rajipo, helping us attain the Rajipo of Satguru Shri Muktanand Swami and our Sadguru lineage, our Sadguru Santo. We have attained this Pragat Guru Roop Hari according to Gadara, last chapter, 2nd Vachanamrut, in the form of our Puja Guruji. Where else do we need to go, and what else do we need to search for? There is nothing else left to do but to attain their Rajipo. There is nothing else left to do. We have attained everything there is to attain. We have the greatest of the greatest, and it can't get better than this. If we understand the Mahima and glory of what we have attained, then our day will be filled with happiness. Our day will be filled with more and more joy. We would appreciate living where we are, whatever position Bhagwan has kept us as, no matter if as a grahast, as a householder, if we don't have financial, if we don't have the financial support, or if we don't have maybe too good of a job, or if we do not have as a student that much of academic grades, that is one thing of the world. But more than that, if we know that we have attained this Thakurji Maharaj, this Sadguru Santo lineage, this Puja Guruji, these Santo and Bhakto, then we would be filled. Our day would be filled and we would be joyful. We would not ever become sad, even if very extreme circumstances come into our life. That's why this base is very important in the form of Mahima. Association of holy saints. We're very fortunate to attain such kind of santos that Puja Guruji has made and sculpted himself. Such kind of santos who are gold medalists, such kind of santos who are very educated, such kind of santos who help us in our day-to-day life, such kind of santos who have attributes of art, dance, saintliness, such kind of santos who are caring and nurturing and look out for our Atyantik Kalyan. Look out that we do not become far from Loyadham. Such kind of santos who are working day and night to keep us joined with Loyadham. What else do we need? Where else do we need to go? That is the question. Nonetheless, company of Ekantik devotees of Loyadham Parivar, we have received devotees that have given up everything at the age of 40, 45, have given their son to become a sadhu. We have attained devotees that are completely samarpit. We have attained devotees who are ready to do anything at any time, any place. We have received devotees who are ready to do any seva, then what else do we need and where else do we need to go? Service of Loyadham, which is very dear to Shriji Maharaj. We have attained this an opportunity to serve in the construction work of this Loyadham Mandir. May it be through donations, may it be physically, or may it be through the mind by helping others encourage to do seva in this Loyadham. We have received such kind of Loyadham, prasadinustan, that Bhagwan Swaminarayan himself has set foot on, Bhagwan Swaminarayan himself has done innumerable leelas in. We have received such kind of a Loyadham stan. What else do we need and where else do we need to go? That is the question we definitely need to ask ourselves to remain fulfilled, to stay joyful, to stay completely happy in our life. We definitely need to ask these questions when we look at these elements in front of us. And when no answer comes, then know that one is at a very, very stable place, a very, very happy place, a very, very high place. Moving on to the next slide. Affectionately served by Satguru Shri Muktanand Swami is our Shri Thakurji Maharaj, and our Adar Swami here has drawn a beautiful painting of how Satguru Shri Muktanand Swami used to serve Shri Thakurji Maharaj there, right there, and you can see nice Swami Shri is serving vaga, nonetheless giving fruits and so on and so forth. The form of this Thakurji Maharaj is our ultimate goal, as we talked about. So we are very fortunate to receive Thakurji Maharaj. Nonetheless, Maharaj, Gadada last chapter 38. It is that same Supreme Purushottam Bhagwan who manifests on this earth out of the compassion for the purpose of granting liberation to the Jeevas. He is presently visible before everyone. This Thakurji Maharaj, as I told you, Akshardham, Bhagwan Swaminarayan resides there forever. That Maharaj is this Maharaj. There is no difference. That kind of samjan, understanding, is true understanding and is the understanding to experience Bhagwan in this very life. Kiya ame kiya aap jivan jano chu, kiri kunjarano merab jivan jano chu. You can see over there in the picture above me right there, there's a hathi, meaning an elephant, and an ant on the other side of this teeter-totter. And the ant is outweighing the elephant. That is something that is very, very unusual. But this picture has a lot of message to it. And above that, more than the picture, the Kadi has even more message that Kiya ame kiya, where am I and where are you? Kiri kunja no merab, you are an elephant and I am an ant. An ant in an elephant's comparison is completely berserk. It is something that is just not possible to compare. Even if the ant were to live on the elephant's body, it would take that ant so much time to get from one place to another. Nonetheless, the elephant would not even know that the ant is walking on its body for days. Nonetheless, the ant or the elephant would not even feel any weight of the ant because the ant is insignificant to the elephant. Just think of the sun and one human being. There's no comparison. It's just completely, there's nothing that can be said. In the same way, Bhagwan Swaminarayan, this Thakurji Maharaj is the elephant, and we souls are like mere ants. We are nothing to him, yet he has told us that I am yours. That is why we are fortunate. He has chosen us out of this whole Maya, out of this whole universe, out of this whole earth. He has chosen us to be his devotee. He has chosen us to take us to Akshardham. He has chosen us for this Loyadham Seva. Then we are very fortunate. That's all this presentation will give us. We are very fortunate, and there is nothing better than what we have attained. If you do not get anything out of this presentation, just get this one sentence. I am very fortunate, and there is nothing else to attain for me, because I am Loyadham Parivar Bhakta, and there is nothing better than this. If we can even understand this fact for us Loyadham Parivar Bhakta, then one will automatically be fulfilled in one's life. Moving on, Satguru Shri Muktanand Swami, Adi Gurudev, that Satguru Shri Muktanand Swami who is main and supreme in Akshardham, and that very Muktanand Swami who is main and supreme on this earth in presence of Nansanto. That Satguru Shri Muktanand Swami, according to the Haricharitramrut Sagar that Bhagwan Swaminarayan has stated, is a Sarvopari Sant. That Muktanand Swami, who Bhagwan Swaminarayan wishes in the Vachanamrut Gadada last chapter 13 that he wanted to retire in the forest after having the darshan of Ramanand Swami. Bhagwan Swaminarayan said that I want to retire with Muktanand Swami in the forest and meditate with him on this earth. That very Muktanand Swami who says, whose enthusiasm is ever increasing, that Muktanand Swami who can be considered to be like God because of the association of God who with him, that Muktanand Swami who is the pinnacle of Dasatva, that Muktanand Swami who is Satsangni Ma, that Muktanand Swami who was the Guru of Bhagwan Swaminarayan, nonetheless Bhagwan Swaminarayan was his Guru. That kind of relationship. That Muktanand Swami who Bhagwan Swaminarayan cleared his residential Akshar Ordi for 3 months when Muktanand Swami became sick, and placed Muktanand Swami in his own residential quarters. That Muktanand Swami we have attained. We don't need to go anywhere. Where else do we need to go, and who else do we need to find? We have received Sadguru Shri Muktanand Swami who is Pragat, who is present, who has never gone away and is with us. Then what else do we need? That is why we are very fortunate, and these are references of the Vachanamrut stating Sadguru Shri Muktanand Swami's sadhuta and Bhagwan Swaminarayan's relationship with Muktanand Swami. These are all in the course. Next, moving on. Sadguru Shri Ataran Swami. To introduce Swami, only Haricharitramrut Sagar is enough. Till this day, Haricharitramrut Sagar is the largest volume of scripture, book, written in the Hindi Bhasa ever. Still, till this day, it's the largest. And our Sadguru Shri Ataran Swami, at a very, very old age, started to write this book due to the agna and wish of Bhagwan Swaminarayan. And in the Haricharitramrut Sagar, there are innumerable charitras of Bhagwan Swaminarayan and Sadguru Shri Muktanand Swami and his Santo and Bhakto, so on and so forth. Then we have received Sadguru Shri Ataran Swami, and nonetheless our Santo currently right now also do the Katha of Shri Haricharitramrut Sagar in the evening times in live Katha, so we can listen and attain some kind of enjoyment out of these charitras that our Adi Gurudev Sadguru Shri Ataran Swami has written. Nonetheless, Sadguru Shri Haripriyadasji Swami, Sadguru Shri Vaikuncharanandasji Swami, and Sadguru Shri Narayan Swarupdasji Swami, who are Sadgurus who have attained the highest form of sadhuta, who are Sadgurus who are compassionate, who are Sadgurus who have liberated numerous jivs that have come into their contact. Those Sadguru Santos are also very, very graceful, and we are very fortunate to have them in our Guru Parampara. Our Puja Dada Guruji. Something that we have more insight on through our Puja Guruji. Our Puja Guruji has given us innumerable prasangs of our Dada Guruji. And some of them is he was a perfect servant for life. He was a das. Our Puja Dada Guruji, he was the Mahant, the head of many mandirs, yet he did seva like washing Haribhakto's clothing. Yet he did seva like making rotlas for Santos and Bhaktos. Yet he did seva like cleaning and sweeping mandir halls. At even such a high position, our Dada Guruji stayed the Dasna Das. He was the observer of the 5 vows. He was merciful on each soul. Whoever he encountered or whoever encountered him, he was very, very compassionate. If someone wanted something, he would give it away right away. That's what our Puja Guruji would tell us. He would give it away right away. He would not look, he would not ask, he would not, he would not think about. But he would say that this soul has come, let me give it away. That was his compassionate nature. And finally, his illustrative personality. His personality was very, very unique. He had a very, very confident yet humble personality. Whoever came, no matter how much of a villain, a sinner, an angerful person would come to Dada Guruji, right away after having darshan of Dada Guruji, that person would become very, very calm and mild and shant. It was just a personality that you cannot create or learn or develop. It's just a personality given by Bhagwan Swaminarayan. And so our Dada Guruji is an Anadi Mukta. So these kinds of characteristics and virtues are very natural to such kind of Mukta. But we are very fortunate that we have received Dada Guruji. Because he has given us the gift in the form of our Puja Guruji. What else, what greater gift than this gift? So, do not forget what we have attained. And remember that if anyone asks, remember these facts and tell them, share with them with a lot of pride, but not ego, pride for what we have attained. Share with them. Help them understand. Help them attain the knowledge of Loyadham. What Loyadham is? That is the obligation of each and every Loyadham Parivar Bhakta. And finally, the grantor of our liberation, Puja Guruji. What more to say about his life? Currently we are witnessing something that has never been witnessed in the history of Swaminarayan Sampradaya, a Satguru that is completely compassionate, a Satguru who is Dasna Das, a Satguru according to the Gadara 1st chapter 27th, despite having such kind of powers, he tolerates the insults and praises of other people, ordinary people. Only one who is extremely great is able to do that. Such kind of a sant. Nonetheless, according to the Vachan Gadara last chapter 2nd, when he attains the company of such a sant, he has, while still alive, attained he who was to be attained after death. We wanted to attain such a company of a sant after dying, but we don't have to die in order to understand this fact. All we have to do is understand that we have attained him, that who we wanted to attain after we have attained him, he is present in front of us. That is to say, he has attained that which is called the highest state of enlightenment or liberation while being alive. According to the Vachanamrita Gadara 1st chapter 56, just as an infant never has any feelings or vanity, in the same manner, no matter how much praise or esteem he encounters, a sadhu should always behave without vanity, just like an infant, which we can see in Puja Guruji's life as even till today. Puja Guruji right now thousands of bhaktos admire him. Thousands of bhaktos are samarpit. Thousands of bhaktos have accepted him to be the grantor of their liberation. Yet, even after all this praise and esteem, he remains a dasna das. That is true greatness, which you cannot find anywhere. That is a very rare virtue to have. Nonetheless, according to the Vachanamrut Sarangpur 10th, when one has the darshan of such a sant, one should realize, I have attained the darshan of God himself. Santa hune hunte vadi santare, ema Shri mukhe kahe bhagavantare. Bhagwan Swaminarayan has said that the sant and I are one. There is no difference between us. Then what better or what is more is there to understand that we have attained Bhagwan Swaminarayan himself in the form of our Puja Guruji. Bhagwan Swaminarayan lives inside of our Puja Guruji and does each and every action of this world. According to this Vachanamrut, if Bhagwan Swaminarayan, if Shriji Maharaja's vision is here, if he is saying this in the Vachanamrut, then our vision should also match there as well. That is the obligation of Loyadham Parivar Bhakta. So we don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to search anything. We have attained our Pragat Sadguru, Guru Rup Hari in the form of our Puja Guruji, who is doing tapasya, who is doing bhajan for the sake of Loyadham. What else do we need and where else do we need to go? So we are very grateful. Nonetheless, glory of a sant. Where can one find a sant which is free of the association of women and which has no kind of association for money? In the world, how many sants are there like that? We as Loyadham Parivar Bhakta have attained 50 of these kinds of santos. What else do we need? Gadara middle chapter 48. Regardless of the life form in which a person takes birth, he will be able to have a wife, a son, and possessions such as wealth and other objects. However, the company of such a sadhu, who is the knower of Brahm, as well as the direct darshan and contemplation of Sri Vasudeva Bhagwan, are extremely rare. We have received such kind of santo that is very rare. Kannada middle chapter 59. Only God and his sant can grant liberation. In fact, God's sant is the greater than even Bhav, Brahma and other deities. So when one attains God or his sant, then apart from this, there is no other liberation for the jiva. This itself is ultimate liberation. Everything lies in understanding, dear devotees. It's not anything physical here in the spiritual world. The greater one's understanding becomes, the greater one's spiritual level becomes. That is a straight fact, and that is a true fact. So, the more one is able to grasp and understand the Vachanamrut and etch it into one's life and believe and have trust in, the more one's spiritual level rises. That's why we are very fortunate. Nonetheless, company of devotees, devotees who have given up everything, devotees who are ekantik, devotees who do not even drink outside water, devotees who do not eat anything on airplanes even if they're 16 hours just like Santo. We have attained such kind of devotees of Loyadham Parivar Bhaktos. According to the Vachanamrut Vartala 16th, I only insist upon engaging in the worship of God and keeping the company of devotees of God. What I have disclosed before you is my deep-seated inner belief. Bhagwan only wants us to worship him and to keep company of devotees of God. And devotees who are ekantik, devotees who have a high spiritual state, devotees who understand our situation, such kind of devotees. Nonetheless, Gadara, last chapter 2nd, I consider this assembly of satsangis to be far greater than the assemblies in Swedip, Goluk, Vaikund and Badrika Ashram. Think about Bhagwan Swaminarayan's vision, his glory. Think about what kind of vision he is giving us to keep. Then these satsangis are muktos. That's all Bhagwan Swaminarayan is saying in this Vachanamrut. But in that all, statement, everything lies. If we can believe others to be mukto, then automatically we will become a mukt. If we can understand everyone to be nirdos and without any swabhavs, automatically we will also start to have such kind of nirdos and swabhavless natures as well. So that is very, very important. Moving on. What is Loyadham? Here are some statements that we can definitely share to devotees when we go out, and if we are asked or if we are not asked, it doesn't matter, but we can give some kind of knowledge about Loyadham. First and foremost is a place of prasadi of Shriji Maharaj. Bhagwan Swaminarayan has set foot on this place. Bhagwan Swaminarayan has done innumerable leelas. That's why it is very, very important to mention. Nonetheless, the courtyard of the loving Sura Bhakta. Sura Bhakta is an Anadi Mukta of Bhagwan Swaminarayan, who gave everything to Bhagwan Swaminarayan, just like how Dada Khachar did so. And Sura Khachar behaved in such a friendly and loving way that through him we have many, many funny and learning charitras of Bhagwan Swaminarayan and Sura Bhakta. Nonetheless, very famous, something that we like all to do, eat food. Loyadham is the origin of Sakotso. Sakotso, or the small eggplant, baby eggplant, brinjals, are Bhagwan Swaminarayan has performed this Utsav of Sakotso, made this kind of sabji, this stew for devotees and sants himself. And due to that, we have received this Utsav of Sakotso. Nonetheless, Loyadham has the very first Hari Mandir. Now, right now where Ghanshyamprakashdasji resides, there is a Hari Mandir, a Haveli, and that was the very first Hari Mandir in the Swaminarayan sect, which is in Loyadham. Nonetheless, at that time, Bhagwan Swaminarayan also kept that Hari Mandir as a learning center for Santos studying in Sanskrit and other fields. So that place has been very, very developed even till this time now, and has been preserved so that we can still have the darshan of such a prasadi mustan. Nonetheless, I'm sure not a lot of you know this, but it is the beginning of the Tilak Chandlo. The Tilak Chandlo, the whole prasang behind it, Satguru Shri Ataran Swami, Bhagwan Swaminarayan, the whole prasang behind it, there, in short, the Tilak Chandlo was started there, and from that place and that time onwards, Swaminarayan Bhakto and Santos are identified through the Tilak Chandlo, where they were walking on the streets or where they're going anywhere. Oh, people mention even in India or here that Jai Swaminarayan or this Bhagat or this person is Swaminarayan through the Tilak Chandlo. It is a form of identity. And nonetheless, the most important is 18 out of 262 Vachanamruts, 18 of them were compiled in and narrated and said by Bhagwan Swaminarayan, 18 Vachanamruts in Loyadham. That's why this place is very holy and very, very important. Nonetheless, I've attained opportunity to do seva of such a place by the wish of Maharaj. I'm very fortunate. I belong to this dham. Glory of all dhams, but pride for Loyadham. Glory for all dhams. Each and every dham is very, very unique in its way. Bhagwan Swaminarayan has sanctified it. Bhagwan Swaminarayan has done innumerable leelas on. But for me, as a Loyadham Parivar Bhakta, pride for Loyadham is definitely there. One step higher. That is my Loyadham. Entire satsang is divine and suitable to do seva. But Maharaj has presented me with an occasion of doing seva for Loyadham. Such a firm belief that I've received everything, I've received many things in life. But Loyadham seva is something that Bhagwan's wish. It is Bhagwan's wish. Loyadham seva is something that has been directly given to me by Bhagwan Swaminarayan. Then it is my obligation to serve Loyadham with my mind, body and soul. Such kind of understanding is necessary for a Loyadham Parivar Bhakta. So, our true attainment and our true pride is Thakurji Maharaj, this Muktanandiya Parampara, Loyadham, and Loyadham is my family. We have received everything. There is nothing else more to receive. So make a vow, feel proud, speak with pride and with glory, preserve and decide that I belong to Loyadham. Why not spread the glory and the facts of Loyadham? Why not make another member of Loyadham? Why not go out, if you meet someone, help them attain the knowledge of Loyadham, give them the true knowledge of Loyadham? Why not? It is our obligation. When we feel obligated, when we start in our heart, then it will happen. But if we just keep these facts for ourselves, that is the first step. But the second step is also sharing the love with others. That is definitely what we need to do as Loyadham Parivar Bhakta. Moving on. Decide. Let us decide this. Shri Thakurji Maharaj is mine and I am Maharaj's thing or object. Sadgurus of Muktandiya Parampara are mine and I am their child. Puja Guruji is mine and I am his child. Saints of Loyadham are mine and I am their das. Devotees of Loyadham family are mine and I am their das. Loyadham is mine and I am Loyadham's. Let us experience the bliss all the time. Hey Maharaj, hey Muktanandiya Parampara, hey dear Guruji, hey all the Santo and Bhakto, hey Loyadham. I am very fortunate to receive you. I am not eligible to even have you, attain you, but you have given me your grace. You have showered me your bliss, and due to that, I have attained you. Let me be loyal to you. Let me worship you without any kind of selfish motive. Let me love you without any kind of selfish motive. Let me help bring up Loyadham more in the world so others can also attain ultimate liberation. This is our obligation as devotees of Shri Thakurji Maharaj, as devotees of this Muktandiya Parampara, as devotees of Puja Guruji, and as Bhaktos and members of Loyadham Parivar. So without further ado, this is our obligation, this is what we need to do, and it all starts with us, and then we can help others. So attain such kind of power, pride in our life, and help others also attain Loyadham. Without further ado, my humble Jai Swaminarayan.